Hi, I'm Exisys, and this is Terra Invicta, where we are currently playing as the Resistance. And let's get rid of that. Okay, so well, as far as I know, we don't have anything big incoming. For Earth. Okay, we do have 2 surveillance missions here. They both finish in June, and they are both in orbit, so we do need to take these out. We got half a year there, so... And we'll probably wait a little bit with that. And they are making sure to actually guard them this time, a battleship. And there's actually 2 surveillance destroyers down here, so this one should be easy to take out. This one looks like it might be a little bit tougher. It's actually got 1,000 combat strength. I think Task Force Earth is about there too, yeah, 1.2. And that looks like a little bit of a harder one, and these aren't very good, but maybe we can get some upgrades in on these before. We are still upgrading a few of our ships too, I think. Yeah, we still got a bunch coming out here. We are getting a new drive very shortly. No, tech I wanted to go into. So we are working on the Firestar. And the Firestar is a really good drive for intercepting. It's got worse efficiency than the drives we are currently using. But it's a high thrust drive. Which means we can actually intercept, we can force engagements once we have that on our ships. And it's a direct upgrade from the burner drive we are currently using, so we can actually retrofit all of our ships with it.
Target neutralized.
Okay, so we decided to eliminate Nandaya Mukherjee from the servants here. I think we did it in the end of the last episode. And the mission was a success. I didn't really expect anything else from Nari. But it's always nice to have that done. Our armies also arrived down here in New Zealand and have started occupying it. So very shortly that will be integrated into Indonesia here as well. And then, well, the only thing we don't have that could be integrated into Indonesia is Numea. So we should probably start working on integrating the rest of Southeast Asia here. And we also finished the nuclear-powered explosive warhead torpedoes. These are the Athena torpedoes. And we also want to try to grab the Poseidon ones or Styx ones. Let's join up that way. I don't think... Yeah, here's the Poseidons. Well, let's select those so that we get the new missiles as well. Okay, so I was looking at transferring the ship here from Mars over back to Earth. And it is possible, but it'll arrive here in 2 years' time with a 1 year just loiter at Mars before the launch window is sufficient to actually facilitate the move. So yeah, it's gonna stick around Mars for a little while longer. It's not worth it. We might be able to use it for something later on. It's the only ship we have in Mars orbit at the moment, and I don't think we need to guard Mars orbit because we don't have anything other than Gateway Mars in Mars orbit. And India deployed another army here, and I think we don't need another army, I don't think. But we do want to have another navy for this army, so they can actually move around. That'll bring us up to a total of 5 armies. Let's put that on a little bit of a slow burner. We're still trying to take these armies up. We can have a max of 9 at the moment, and we're only at 5. So we've got a bit more to work on here, and then we can actually work on a little bit more on India instead of investing into the military. Okay, so I've set some of our operatives up this time to start some surveillances, and I've been using the xenoforming level map mode. Let's see if we can track down some aliens and see what they're up to. It would be nice to know a little bit more about them. Okay, so we managed to conquer New Zealand. Not that much of a tough one to do, but New Zealand is now part of Greater Indonesia. Let's send all of our armies home. It'll save India a little bit of maintenance costs. We could try to take the European Union. That would get us way above our cap here for a bit. Just to cede Nomea, we'd need to hold on to the executive for half a year. But we'd only need the executive. So if we grab the legislature and the executive, that would be fine. We would need to build up our popularity a little bit here first, though. Yeah, maybe that's something to do while we research the text to actually be able to conquer these nations here. The Humanity First isn't going to be happy with us once we get into this area. But, I mean, this territory isn't super good either. But we can take it, so of course we should. It's 0.35 million population. Quite a bit of a boost down here, though. And 1 mission control. And it's an ecologically vulnerable region. And they have it as a colony region, of course. Maybe it'll be a little bit more productive once we've conquered it. Okay, and this is the thing we've been waiting for, of course. We unlocked the Firestar Fission Lantern. And you can see here it has a combat multiplier of 22, which means it produces 110 million newtons of thrust, in combat thrust, which is a lot better than anything we have. It uses hydrogen as fuel, so we can still use the hydrogen fuel traps. Got an exhaust velocity of 50 kps. I think the burner is 66 or 68 or something like that. It's a little bit lower, but this is good. This is more than sufficient for defensive purposes. Yeah, let's go back to researching wormholes here. I think that's a good one to pick up. No, we don't need to have it focused though. Molecular benefaction. This is one that we do want to have. This will lead to the, well, eventually to the lithium heat sinks. The 23rd of February. Do we want to wait? Well, no, we can just put a different heat sink, because that's only for new designs. Our current designs don't have that. But that is fine. We don't have to. Actually, I think we do want to prioritize these two slots over the other ones at the moment. Okay, so the first thing we want to do is just to get these kind of ships. That one we can delete. We are not using it anymore. We're not using the outer system colony ship either. And we're going to redesign it anyway before we actually start using it. And what more do we have? Let's get rid of these. They've all been refitted. It makes it a little bit easier to see. We do have 3 of these, and they're getting refit into this. We're going to upgrade this one. And we're going to keep most of everything the same here. So we already have upgraded the power plant on them, I think. We've got the terawatt gas core. So the neutron flux here, which has a lot of thrust, 13 million. It only has a 2 times multiplier, so it produces 25 million tons of newtons. This one has 5 million newtons of thrust, but a 22 multiplier there. So this produces so much more combat thrust. This one's also open cycle, just as this one and this one. Now we can obsolete the Vasimir and the Nova. We are never going to use them again. So we'll just drop the Firestar in here, and all of a sudden we've got 2.2 G's of thrust. And we put 2 of them in, and then we got 4. 4 will allow us to catch any alien vessels. We probably don't need to have the slush hydrogen tankage here. The tin droplet, I think that's the new one. I don't see us using anything else other than the tin droplet anymore. We don't have any other batteries, do we? Actually, we still do. No, we're still using the salt water one there. We have the superconducting coil battery here. So let's upgrade to that one while we are at it. We're not going to do anything with utility modules. We don't have any new weapons. This is fine. So and this one's with the laser one. Since we're using a light cold gun here as well. Question is, do we want to have this one set to... This should not be Guardian mode. That should be focus fire on the laser cannon. And this one can be set to Guardian mode. That means it will... Actually, we probably want to have this one to focus fire mode as well. Just so that we actually get these cold gun slugs heading towards the enemies. This isn't the best kind of design we can have, but it's good enough. It does what we need it to do. Let's save this design. We'd preferably like to go up to battle cruisers at this point, but we have so many destroyers, of course we're going to upgrade them so that we can use them. That would be this one can be obsoleted now too. We can obsolete this one before we actually go in and upgrade it. Same thing here, we're going to want to replace that battery. And the drive. And we do want to have 4 Gs of acceleration. And here we've already set them to the proper modes. The radiators are the same, everything else is the same. Good. Let's just... block 6, okay. That should be both of the upgrades done. We already obsoleted that one. Murgas and the backs, do we have any of them still? Yeah, we still have a few of them. We do want to upgrade the drives on all of our ships. Oh, we only needed one here. And we can probably drop in... we're going to drop in a new battery. We're also going to drop in some new missiles here. We've got the Athena torpedoes now. So let's obsolete these. And let's replace with Athenas. These are just a lot better in all kind of ways. They are nuclear powered, so they've got a lot more delta V, which means they get to accelerate a lot more, which means they have a lot higher terminal velocity, and they're also explosive, so they've got the same damage type. And block 11, yeah, we've been using these for quite a while. And everything there should be fine. Maybe we should add some more propellant on them. Doesn't cost that much more. And it just allows us to get up to about the same as the other ones. And the most important part here, of course, is getting up to 4 Gs of combat acceleration. No, we didn't actually obsolete these. And the other ones are at... Okay, yeah, we could have gone a little bit further up. And we think we've only got... Yeah, we've got a few of those. We've only got one of these. Yes, I've gone through everything there, and we're gonna hold off with designing the new ships for just a little while. We do have a few more components coming in probably. We're gonna go with the battle cruisers later on. Mostly we're just holding off because we're gonna be refitting a lot of ships here, so our dockyards are going to be fairly busy at the moment. And we don't want to have everyone in here at the moment. This is a fairly quick refit. All of our surveillance here, we didn't find anything, which is fine. But I think maybe we do that. We said we're going to work a little bit here on the EU. And we probably want to pull through and Samadarshi out to run some public campaigns here. And we also completed the Ares torpedoes. Or no, the Poseidons are the ones we're after here. Let's keep on working our way through here. That would not be a bad idea to pick up actually, nor would this one. I think we can get this one before our next combat there. No, not really. Yes, we can get it by May. That's cutting it a little bit short, but we are going to want to upgrade as many ships as possible. They're not finished until the 1st of June. Yeah, so maybe we do this first combat without it, and then we'll do the second one with it. I'm thinking we should be able to take this battleship out, especially if we manage to refit our entire fleet. You can see their highest combat acceleration here is 2.6 Gs, and our new ships are coming out with 4 Gs, so we're going to be able to force engagement with them. They're not going to be able to run from us, which is precisely what we want.
There's a them and there's an us. Always has been, as much as we kid ourselves that somehow we've become more enlightened over all these years of blood and suffering. Commander Fiona Ayawade, SIS Correspondence.
Okay, so we finally finished designer lifeforms. So I think we just picked this one up. We'll be able to start pulling up some fusion reactors. It's at least something to start off with. We'll probably research down a little bit before, but we're going to need fusion reactors for the offensive ships, and we're going to need some high efficiency drives to actually be able to get anywhere. And we finished the molecular benefaction. This will lead to the lithium heat sinks. We still need to wait for them to unlock, of course. I actually think the lithium spray radiators might be better. I'm unsure about these. We'll have to check with the ones we already have. But the lithium heat sinks there are really good, and as luck would have it, we unlock the agricultural complex. And let's favorite that one. I do think I need to refresh this list. And there we have the ag complexes, so let's pick those up quickly. Okay, so we do have some experience to spend here, so Drew's up to 22 here. And well, he's already maxed out on admin, so I think we're going for just augmenting his persuasion there. Yeah, that doesn't make sense, does it? Command would be a nice one. We do have the cash for it. And that'll just help increase a little bit there. Actually, security might be even more. We're going to get security and espionage up, I think. Let's start with espionage so they don't get found as easily. And we also have some new orgs available here. Doesn't really look like we've got anything super good here. I can't have that one anyway. Yeah, would have been a nice one earlier, but I don't think it's worth it for us now. And okay, Samsor. You have some experience. We want you to spend it on, or we can make sure that you have some. You can have the science one. That one's never bad. Do we have anyone here with command that we could remove? I think the only one we have granting command is this one, +3. No, 10 command. Where are we getting the rest of it from? Are we getting... Oh yeah, this one is 10. Yeah, okay. So yeah, we don't need any more command on you. And you have very high security and espionage. I guess more espionage doesn't hurt. And more investigation wouldn't hurt either. We don't need to buy those though. Let's grab the extra espionage. And we probably want to up your admin here. Espionage, yeah, we want to grab this one. And then we want to increase admin. That would give us just one more command, which of course is good. Yeah. And then we had Emmet here, who's also got some points to spend. And then same thing here, I think he's mostly for admin there, but science is the one we're really pushing up on him at the moment. And we're going to grab this one. And that one. Just because we can, and then we'll keep increasing science here. He is primarily a science advisor for China. And that is the council all dealt with. And we're still working here in Europe. I'm getting our popularity up a bit. We're up to 24%. Maybe we can actually start looking at doing crackdowns here. And 2% isn't that good. We want to target the mass media, legislature, there. And how much? Yes, 15%. It's a hard one to get into. Popular support will help this quite a lot though. And yeah, we'll just have to stick with it a little while longer, I think. And then once we're up to about 25%, maybe we can start rolling a little bit on it. Okay, so I did find an organization down here, Orchid Minerals. It's 7% for 3 stars. But we've got this one here that's only 3% for 2 stars, and this one that's 2% for 1 star. This one should come out at a little bit more than 2 per star. So we're gonna swap those out there. What's this one? It's 9%. Yeah, that one's really good. You get at the most 3% space mining output per star. So this one's not very good. We'll transfer it down there, and the same thing with Zeus. And we should be able to pick up this one instead. Actually, we only needed to reassign one of them. So Zeus can actually stay. I don't think we have anyone else we want to put these on. Elysium and Romulus. Yeah, so let's sell those off so we don't have to waste space on them here. Okay, so we did finish the agricultural complex here finally, which of course is very good for us. I can start going over the spaceships or space stations and bases and start upgrading them, because these of course offset a lot more crew, up to 3,000 worth of crew. That means we can reduce the amount of farms we're using, and that means we can have more of other things on there instead. I think maybe it's time to start working on the Southeast Asian Alliance, it should be, so that Thailand can actually start integrating everything else here. And that should bring everything else in, but we want to do the Europe thing first there anyway, so don't know if we need this one. We might need to do some of the smaller ones there. Oh yeah, and we did finally unlock lithium heat sinks, and we've also unlocked, where are they? The lithium spray radiators. We're actually going to pick up battle stations before anything else. Now we should do that after the smart aircraft defenses, of course, so we're not wasting our research points. Let's grab the heat sinks here quickly. These are also something that we're going to want to have on our offensive ships. They're going to need to have a lot larger radiators, so we're going to have to withdraw them in combat. As it is, our ships have very, very small radiators, and they're not very vulnerable to the technology we're using either. So we don't have to worry about it that much just yet. Okay, so we are getting there. We completed the smart spacecraft defenses, 5% less damage from enemy weapons in combat. That is of course a very nice one to have. Yeah, we've been refitting most of our ships. I think there's 4 left to refit. And let's pick up battle stations here. We are going to need them very soon. And we're getting that today if we do that. That's not bad. Yeah, that means I can start putting them out when I start redesigning the stations in between episodes. Okay, so we've got magnetic plasma confinement, and this is our first fusion tech here. And this will lead to magnetic nozzles, which is probably the next thing we need to pick up here. Plasma weapons, they're not that good at the moment. The dusty plasma radiator, I think, is a lot lighter than what we have, but it's twice as vulnerable as well. So this is actually going to be that might actually be a better one than the lithium spray for our offensive fleet once we start getting that done. And Tokamaks and Z-pinch techniques. We are going to go straight for magnetic nozzles though. We have a chance at unlocking the neutron flux torch as well, which would probably allow us to skip the entire fusion tree. And you can see here it unlocks almost all of the fusion drives. There's a few down here that we would be looking at, but yeah, let's just start with this one. And it's also another very big tech, but we have to start somewhere. This one will lead us down into the electrostatic and magnetic, or not magnetic, hybrid fusion drives. But yeah, we're waiting for some of these other things first though. But I think that's going to be all for today, so thank you very much for watching. Take care and see you next time.